Alright, what's good? Today I'm going to show you guys how to harmonize your melodies and just make your melodies sound bigger. Let's get straight to it.
Alright, what's going on, guys? Your boy Tony Shen. I'm back with another FL Studio melody tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you how to make your melodies sound bigger and just more interesting by harmonizing certain melodies. Because when you think about it, when you come up with melodies, you're not thinking about the entire big picture. You're just thinking about one line, maybe like one certain aspect of a melody. And when you come up with it, when you're starting out with a melody, it might sound something like this. Like, we're working with the piano today, but it might sound something like this, right? Something like that, right? It's simple. It gets the job done. It's a good melody, but what can we do to make it sound bigger and more interesting and just have it fill up more space? So today I'm going to teach you how to harmonize and give you, a bunch of steps on how you can achieve a bigger melody with harmonizing. The first step to harmonizing is figuring out what key you're in, and you are going to need a little bit of music theory, but it's actually pretty simple. I'm going to link a page down in the description below where you can figure all this out by just analyzing the notes. So you came up with this melody and you just drew it on your piano roll. You're not really sure what key you're in right now, right? Because you just thought of this melody in your head and you're just drawing it here. So I guess the easiest way for me to figure out which key we're in is counting the number of sharps or flats. So in this melody we have, let's see, a C sharp and an F sharp, right? What that means to me is that most likely this is either a D major or it's relative minor. So let's say if you have one sharp instead, you only had an F sharp, that would mean it's either a G major or it's relative minor, which is the E minor, right? So I like to count the sharps or flats. Like if you had one flat, that could be a F major or a D minor. So first step is just figuring out which key you're in, and you can do that by counting the sharps and flats and then comparing it to the link I'm going to put in the description below, and that helps you figure out the key. I think is the easiest way. So once you figure out which scale you're in, now we can actually pull up like a scale in the back and then use it kind of like a template to create your chords based off. So what we can do is just like for beginners, just like a beginner way to do this, just to visualize it, you can insert like a sampler track here. What that allows you to do is play notes without it sounding anything, right? So you can hit whatever note and it won't sound. And then what you could do is go to your sampler in your piano roll and then go here into this this option and then just find a major. So let's go to scale, major, and then what do we say? D major, right? So just place it on the D here. And then, we can do it for a few octaves, just so you have more room to work with, right here. And then we could, just drag this out. And then let's go back to our piano. So now you have the entire D major scale pulled up behind you. And then all you have to do to harmonize is to build chords around your melody and then make chords that fit the melody that give it some type of direction. The easiest way to do this is just with a triad chord, which is basically just a 1, a 3, and a 5. Very simple to do. It's very easy and can take you a lot of places, right? So first, we have a D. So obviously, since we're in the key of D major, we just have a D major chord, right? So D, just again like the 1, the 3, and the 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's play that and see what it sounds like. And then here we could have another chord play, right? Because this could be like a transition chord. So we have F sharp here. So the 1, 3, and the 5. So F sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then another D here. So maybe another D major. Now, because we already had the same D major chord here, we could still, this still fits, but we can make it a little bit more interesting by kind of rearranging the way the notes are positioned. So what that means is we can invert the chord, right? So instead of having D at the bottom, we could, maybe have F at the bottom and just invert it. So it's still a D major chord, but just the notes are placed differently and it makes it sound a little bit different. So I'll play it from the start again. Right? It sounds a little bit different. and it ends on an E, so it's just E, like 1, 3, and 5 again. E, so E's the 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe an octave down. Yeah, and then you can copy this. You hear how that instantly just adds more depth and makes your melody sound bigger and just more interesting, because it gives it more of a direction rather than just having one single layered line of melody, right? And it doesn't stop here. I mean, harmonizing isn't just about building chords like that and then just playing chords. Like, you could literally apply the same concept but change kind of like the rhythm of it, right? So if we just offset, if we just, so for example, maybe instead of playing all 3 notes at the same time, you kind of have like a, it build up like this, right? Kind of like have it like a walking, walking up. Maybe since it's the same note here, maybe maybe do something like this, yeah. Basically, when you come up with your basic chords, there are other ways that you can make the chords sound even more interesting. One is just changing the rhythm, and then changing the placement of the notes, and then you can also add additional notes. Like, you could add a 7, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to give it a little more tension. Like if you listen, like on the first chord, I add a 7th, right? That gives it a little bit more tension, right? You can add a 7th here too. So as you can see, harmonization is not that complicated. All you have to know is which key you're in, and then figure out where to build your chord based off of. All you have to do is, figure out where you land in the respect of the melody, and then build a chord around where you land. And obviously, this isn't the only harmony that would work along with that melody. There's other chords that you could have used easily. Like, I just used the most basic one and landed wherever like the note is and build a chord around that. But there's other ways that you can arrange these chords. This is just one way. Feel free to experiment. Don't be scared to try different chords. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, you can have really dissonant chords and still sound good. Like if I just added like a D here just to mess around, right? Like, obviously when you play a note right next to each other, it doesn't sound that good, but you could serve a certain purpose if that's what you're going for. Like, right? It gives it a little bit more tension, which could be what you're going for. So don't be afraid to experiment. This is a very useful process, especially for making your melodies sound bigger. But yeah, that's all I have for today. If you guys found this melody tutorial to be useful, or you figured out a way to use it in your own beats, please show some support on this channel. Drop a like on this video, drop a comment, whatever you can do helps. Hit the subscribe button. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm gonna play the melody for you guys again if you guys want to hear it, but that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much.